All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the monthly Southside Wellness Coalition on Thursday, December 21st. We are here in person at the admin building in Clarksville of Southside Behavioral Health and on Zoom. So our wonderful hybrid meeting. Thank you all for joining us in the room as well as on the Zoom. We're going to go ahead and get started with the minutes from last month. Let me go ahead and, oh no, maybe hold on a second. No, we have to start with the welcoming everybody first. So first on the Zoom, if you don't mind, we're going to start introductions in the room first. But while we are doing that, those of you on the Zoom would go ahead and drop your information in the chat box so that when we get to you, it will also be available to me on the chat that I can save at the end of the meeting. All right, so starting in the room, Stephen, I'll start with this side and go to the left.
Hi, my name is Stephen Wilson. I'm a current member of the leadership team and been with the coalition for about 5 years, I think. Member of our resident of Mecklenburg County and member of our recovery community.
Welcome, thank you. Next.
Hi, my name is Shirley Pamplin. I'm currently serving as the Central District Ambassador for Virginia 4-H, and I currently reside in Mecklenburg County.
Good morning. I am Tiffany Moore. I work here at Southside Behavioral Health and I reside in Mecklenburg County and I'm here to support Trinity.
Thank you. All right.
Good morning, Christine Pennington. I'm co-owner of Resilient Pathways. We're a new family resource center in Chase City, and I'm excited to be here. Due to my previous job, I was not able to attend the coalition meetings as often, so I'm looking forward to being able to be here regularly now.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Catherine Maloney. I'm the CFO and Development Officer at Tri-County Community Action Agency. Been involved in the coalition for about 4 years, been on the leadership team a couple times and getting off the leadership team, but I intend to stay involved. So welcome everybody. And I'm from Charlotte County, but I work in the Tri-County area, mostly Halifax, Mecklenburg, and Charlotte counties.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us. All right, so on the screen, I'm going to just go around. Barbara, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Johnson with the Virginia Department of Health, Southside Health District, and I'm a community health worker.
Good morning. Thank you. Adla?
Good morning. My name is Adla. My full name is Adla Angelina. I'm a retired physician. My husband and I moved here from Denver, Colorado in 2021, but had been coming here for Thanksgiving break for many years. I think my first year was 2007. As we came here every Thanksgiving for a couple of weeks to spend time with my husband's parents, who both grew up right here in Halifax County. Awesome. And should I talk about me being I'm a candidate for the leadership team, and I just have a lot of skills that I want to put to good use. And I think that I think a lot about the work that the Southside Wellness Coalition is doing. I think it's really important work, really needed work. I know people, both personally, who have been impacted, and also patients and patients' families who have been affected by this great crisis, and look forward to helping out in any way I can. I have experience in dealing with the paperwork of, from the FDA, for example, or navigating the grants through HRSA. So I look forward to helping out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Then next we'll go with Shelley.
Good Good morning. My name is Shelley, and I am the education specialist at the Virginia Poison Center at VCU Health.
Hi, good morning, good morning. Brian?
Good morning, everyone. Brian Price with the Virginia Rural Health Association, the evaluations coordinator.
Awesome, good morning. Allison?
Hey, everybody. My name's Allison Byrne. I am the Community Engagement and Partnerships Coordinator with the Department of Veterans Affairs out of the VA Hospital in Richmond.
Awesome, good morning. Sarah?
Hey, so I'm Sarah Cott. I am the coordinator for Engaging Prince Edward, but I am actually helping with Engaging Halifax now. So I kind of wanted to jump on so everyone could see my face if you see me wandering into your offices to bother you in the coming weeks. So that is why. But also to just kind of make some contacts in Halifax because I am in Prince Edward and I don't know very many people from Halifax. So I'm just working on kind of establishing those connections.
Awesome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Sherry? Elena?
Good morning. I'm Sherry Elena Martin. I'm the housing case manager, or one of the housing case managers at Tri-County. We recently hired another housing case manager. So I will primarily be working with permanent supportive housing clients going forward, which I'm really excited about. I'm also a nominee for the leadership as well. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that. I put most of it in my biography, but I will say that what I bring to the table is passion, enthusiasm, and inherent curiosity. I'm always wanting to learn more, so I'm really excited about the opportunity.
Awesome, thank you. And Brenna?
Good morning, everyone. Brenna Lake, Population Health Manager for the Department of Health for Pennsylvania, Danville, and Southside. I am also a nominee for the leadership committee, but I think you had something or later in the agenda some time set aside, so I will hold off till then.
All right, thank you so much. Justin?
Hey everybody, I'm Justin Jackson. I've kind of been working with Keenan mostly for the better part of this year. Just being an adult sponsor for the ADAP team.
Good morning, thank you so much. And Leon?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I'm Liam Hudson. I'm the CEO of the Lean In Project and currently have the honor of serving as the chair of the Southside Wellness Coalition. And we're based in Halifax, but we serve the Tri-Counties. So good to see everybody. I can't hear you, Keenan, anymore.
Me either.
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear us now? Okay, we'd like to do Sergeant Stembridge's introduction.
Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Stembridge with Chase City Police Department. Glad to see everybody this morning. Sorry I'm late. Just trying to get my Zoom updated on my computer, but good to see everybody this morning and look forward to working with everyone.
Awesome, awesome. I feel you on that. My Zoom updates all the time. Obviously did it just a few seconds ago. And then Susanna came in the room.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susanna Morano. I work at Resilient Pathways. I'm the co-founder. I look forward to being here today, but I've worked closely with Keenan for many, many years and Christine Pennington.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you all for introducing yourselves and dropping it in the chat as well. So we'll go ahead. Those of you in the room, you have copies of all the documents that I have online to share with them. And then afterwards, the minutes and such and all will be posted onto our coalition website, as well as be shared out in next month's monthly newsletter. So starting on the screen for us on the Zoom, we have the minutes from last month, which was November the 16th of 2023. Meeting was held here again, hybrid, based in the Southside Behavioral Health Conference Room and on the Zoom. You can see there the link for the minutes and the recorded meeting are now posted. Members present. Again, I'm just going through and then we'll need a motion to approve. We discussed the elections of 2024, where there were nominations accepted for folks throughout the community. There was an update on the Secova Summit that took place in Roanoke. Updates from the Trauma Informed Care Network, as well as Hidden in Plain Sight. More discussion about our veteran outreach. We did participate in an outreach at the Southern Virginia campus in Alberta, Community College campus in Alberta. Discussion of the logo being revised for 2024 and update from the leadership team. And I'll stop the share screen there. Any questions, comments about the agenda? I mean, excuse me, the minutes from last month.
No, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for last month. This is Catherine Maloney.
All right, thank you. Can I get a second for approving those minutes?
Second that, Stephen Wilson.
All right, Stephen, thank you. All right, then heading back into the agenda for today. And for those of you in the room, your agenda doesn't quite add up to what exactly is going to be on the screen, because you know, as always with busy organizations, we had some last minute additions within the last 48 hours. And I had already made copies of y'all's.
That's because you're always on top of things.
But the online agenda is good. Liam can attest. We were discussing it this morning as well. Lots of great stuff. All right, so again, those of you, please let me know if you cannot see anything I'm talking about. All right, so this morning we have our guest speaker from the Virginia 4-H Cabinet. Then we're going to be having a YADAP update from Justin and his team. Liam will take over to talk about the election that again starts today and ends next week. And then moving through again the end of the year letter, the veteran outreach plans for February, an update from Sarah on engaging Halifax, talking a little bit about the national forum coming up in February. Sarah from our marketing team was unable to be here today, but I'll be updating and sharing the PowerPoint presentation she has made thus far about ideas. So we'll need lots of feedback from everyone today on how to change up and modify our coalition logo. Then we'll have any updates from the leadership team. And our next meeting is currently scheduled for January the 18th. Again, a hybrid meeting on that morning. So before we get started, any questions, concerns about the agenda before we begin? All right, I hear no questions, no concerns. Again, you can drop them in the chat box as well. Okay, all right, let me share screen. All right. So I'd like to introduce Trinity Pamplin from Virginia 4-H Cabinet. Trinity, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Trinity Pamplin, and I'm Central District Ambassador for Virginia 4-H Cabinet. This is my first term running. And I'm just here to tell you some things about Cabinet and what we do for our community and for Virginia 4-H. What is 4-H Cabinet? So basically, 4-H Cabinet is a group of individuals and who pride themselves in the development of young teenagers, kids, and anybody who's interested in what 4-H is. We spread the knowledge of 4-H and how it affects our communities, our local communities, and just Virginia in total. My position in 4-H, like I said, I'm a Central District Ambassador, and what I want to do personally is spread leadership and what leadership means in our communities and how it affects younger kids and older adults and how they can get more involved in 4-H. why I'm here today, to tell you about 4-H is a lot more than just agriculture, the different aspects of 4-H and how it is much more than what you may be perceived. It's more than camps. It's more than just going to community fairs and having the animals. It's a lot more than that. 4-H is a lot of leadership things. And me personally, I got into 4-H for leadership. I love being in positions where I feel like I can lead, where I can contribute some things of my knowledge to 4-H in Virginia 4-H. And now there's just questions, anything that was in the presentation. It was very short, but anything that you guys might have not understand about 4-H, because 4-H is a lot broader, and I feel like it's more of a conversational topic. People need to ask questions so they can understand what 4-H really is.
So what are you doing in Mecklenburg County, and you're in Mecklenburg?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are you doing? What kind of programs do you have in this area?
So my agent, like I told you earlier when you walked in, my agent is Jennifer Bowman, and she's got me a lot more involved into 4-H, especially state level Virginia. And what we're trying to do now is make sure that every community in Mecklenburg is affected by 4-H. They know what 4-H is. We have a lot more community outreach. We just recently started our Honors Club, and we did some things for our first responders, like made a gift basket for Christmas for our first responders. And I'm also the president of our Honors Club 4-H for our community of Mecklenburg. So all we're trying to do now is to make sure that our community can get as involved as possible, because 4-H is for the community. And a lot of people do not understand that 4-H, and I keep saying this, is more than just agriculture, because that's all they were introduced to, especially older adults.
Take your earphones out.
Can you hear?
I'm done.
That's okay, Ben. I prefer the earbuds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just like hearing.
Oh, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so Trinity, what programs do you offer in Mecklenburg County?
Okay.
What are the broad range of things that you actually do in the Mecklenburg County?
Mecklenburg County 4-H currently offers camp as one, and now we're trying to get more into the state level. And next year we're hoping to get more like national level, get more things so you can travel. But like recently we just had the opportunity to go to, I think in Vegas. A bunch of 4-Hers had on state level got the opportunity to go to Vegas. And what we want to do is get more teens involved in these activities and these things. Like we have gardening and things like that in 4-H, but what Jennifer Bowen and me are both trying to get things to do is make sure our teens know that you have these options for state and national. So right now I think we're focusing more on state and national, so we can get more of Mecklenburg on these levels of representation. So we can have more teens from Mecklenburg representing on a state level, on a broader level, more people from where we live at representing where we live. That's our main focus as of right now.
And what would they be participating in say, Las Vegas? Sorry.
So basically it's like the same thing you do for state Congress. You go, you have the opportunity to meet a bunch of people who are involved in 4-H, who do a bunch of different things. You get the opportunity to meet representatives who do big things. It's basically like networking. You're networking when you go, and it's really good for teens who get to go because it gives you an amazing opportunity to just network and get to know more about what 4-H is, which you can get involved in 4-H. And whatever you do, you can help these people with what you do and incorporate that into 4-H. So teens now, if they're getting involved in 4-H, it's basically, they'll have the opportunity to go to state. What state does is basically give teens from all across Virginia the opportunity to either represent or just come and have the ability to see what 4-H is on a state level, more than just community. Because when you go to community 4-H, it's basically, camp, you have it in your schools, little more, not as extreme representation, but on a state level, it's not as community based. It's a lot more like, what can you do as a team to represent your community, and how do you want to represent your community? And how can you get involved in that representation?
So tell them what you did, how you met the governor.
When just recently, when you are on cabinet, you have opportunities to meet the governor or to meet different people or see different things. That's really what cabinet does. It gives you the opportunity to be in those rooms where you can meet those people. So just recently, not too long ago, me and a couple other people on cabinet got the opportunity to meet the governor, and it was really nice. And it wasn't me networking. I just got the opportunity to meet somebody and say, I know you. Now you know my face. So any other room that you see me in, now you know what I look like. And it's opportunities to meet some really big people that you wouldn't be able to meet sometimes outside of 4-H. So just opportunities like that I wouldn't have known I would have got until getting involved in 4-H.
I will say that Jennifer Bowen was my 4-H extension agent all of my life. And so it's very sad that she left right before my daughter was old enough to join 4-H. But I also got a lot of volunteer hours in high school and college, volunteering with Jennifer with a lot of the different programs she was doing. So if you have like a college age kid that has to have those volunteer hours, I know Jennifer is always really big on you coming in and like doing camps and projects and things like that for volunteer hours.
Yes, that's very true. That when I first got involved in 4-H, my main thing was how is it gonna help me in the long run? And when she told me that it helps you get scholarships and stuff, that's what really pushed me to do 4-H, because all the volunteer hours you get from just helping out your community or being involved in your community. And it's not, sometimes when people think about volunteer hours, they think, well, it's not, what am I doing? It's not gonna be enjoyable. But all the things that you do in 4-H, all of it's enjoyable. It's something that you're volunteering and that you actually genuinely enjoy. It's those type of aspects in 4-H that people, I don't think they understand when just looking from the outside in. You have to really get involved in 4-H to see those things. Any other questions?
So how can we help you?
So recently, I was talking to Jennifer about how I want to make sure that we get 4-H into not only kids, but to adults. So I want to do more events in our community that we have more community involved events. So if we do, let's say we have an event and it's at the 4-H center and it's all gardening and we're picking things from the garden that we have at the office down in Boyden, because there's a garden near there. I want to make sure that it's not just 4-H kids. It's everybody from the Mecklenburg community being involved in those events, because to make our community as big on 4-H, to make our community really bond, we all have to be involved. And that's what I want to make sure we do as I run my term and future terms, is to make sure that all of our community is involved. So we have support from all around our community. That's why I want people to understand it's more than just what you heard about when you were growing up. There's so many other things, and there's so many things you can get involved in. Just like I was a healthy living ambassador, and we focused just on the health of 4-Hers. How can we better the health of 4-Hers? How can we make sure 4-Hers eat healthy? They do more exercises. They're making sure that their bodies are healthy. How can we do that for 4-Hers? And they do that because they want to make sure we're touching every aspect of 4-H. And I want to make sure that our adults know that your involvement is important too. So making sure that you know that our office is in Boyden, we have events, we have Jennifer Bowen, she plans and puts out things for our events. She has a Facebook page, most of the events are on there when things are going on, and to get involved in those events. It's not always about donations, it's about seeing a familiar face so we can have those connections in our community.
Do you have any upcoming events that you would like to speak about?
The only event I think we have upcoming is we just have meetings, and I know that we are trying to get more speakers involved. So basically now we just started our honors club. We have an honors club because we wanted to make sure that we're doing more for our community, and the only way to do that is to start an organization within 4-H that can do more, a club basically to do things for your community. So we want to make sure we get more speakers involved, people from our community speaking to us, so we know what's out there for us, who are our supporters, who are the people that are working with us, who want to see us win, more speakers. That's the biggest thing. And I think our next meeting is after Christmas in January. I'm not for sure on the date, but it's sometime in January where we're having a meeting. And I know we're just trying to get more speakers involved, more community speakers, so we can have some different things, hear about some different things. I just recently went to the Board of Supervisors. There was a meeting there for all of the agents involved in 4-H, or just involved around that for Mecklenburg, Halifax, and Brunswick. And we were just speaking about what can they do to make our community base better, and how can they affect our community. So I think, no, definitely we want a lot more speakers at our event, getting more speakers involved.
And since you said you do more than agriculture, are you all, as part of your work, wanting to work on substance abuse prevention? In terms of like nicotine and alcohol?
I know we talked briefly about nicotine, because nicotine is a big thing. When I did healthy living, they talked about nicotine and about how unhealthy it is, and we kind of broke down the things of nicotine and what it really does to your body. I know a lot of our things, we like to focus on mental health, teen mental health, things like those things, because those are all important. And a lot of things that I do on my level now is teen based, or you know, early child based, like elementary school based. So they want to break out those things, mental health, how bullying, things like that is what most of the things we speak about in 4-H cabinet now.
Well, you got a good group of people on this call that do a lot of that work. So you have access to quite a few speakers if that's what you're looking for.
Any questions from the Zoom?
What is the age range of members that can join 4-H?
So for going to camp, it is an age range for kids, anywhere from, I'm thinking like 9 or 10, you start around 9 or 10 and you can go until you are 17. And after that, you can volunteer and get approved to volunteer and come to 4-H and do things like that. But really, there is no age range. There's events that happen where you can be in a certain group or age, but you can get involved in 4-H at any time period. We have this thing called All-Stars, where you can become a 4-H All-Star from the time you are 9 or 10 to the time you are 50. It doesn't matter. You can be a 4-H All-Star and still have that involvement. 4-H is all about community. So whatever age you choose to get involved in 4-H, it really does not matter. They want more people to get involved. They want older people to get involved to really help grow the development of the kids when they start out with 4-H. That's what we want.
So are there programs that people are running in the area? Because I know like a friend of mine used to run a horse program for 4-H. What are those? Are you familiar with anything that people and what the age? Because that age was, you had to be 9 years old.
I know the like gardening ones, those are older groups, like the ones that Boyd in the office there's a lot of different older ladies who lead groups for a little bit older people. So it's like they have gardening, they have the cooking sessions where it's like a cooking class, but it's not for younger kids. It's for more of an older group of people. And it's more like, it's kind of bonding between older people. It's not younger. That's why I think a lot of people think it's younger, but you have to be able to go to the office. And it's a lot more than just Jennifer Bowen. There's people there who work at the office who do, you just have to talk to the right person. That's the biggest thing. If you go to the office down in Boynton, they tell you the different things you can do. But Jennifer Bowen is just the agent that does a lot of kid-based or teen-based things. That's why I always call her my agent, because she's been with me since I was itty bitty. So.
Is there any way that we could get or you could get 4-H branched out to the towns, other than having them come to Boynton to meet or things like that? In other words, have a program that's Mecklenburg based, but set up in Chase City, or one in South Hill, one in Clarksville. Because sometimes the people with the lower income cannot get the transportation maybe to Boynton or whatever. In other words, I might can get a kid to walk uptown, but I might not can get him to Boynton. So I just wondered if we could get the program run somewhere else, not to say take it over somewhere else, but just have a branch of service in different towns and stuff.
I understand that. That was the biggest thing with the meeting I went to on Monday. The meeting I went to on Monday, they were talking about what's the difference with, being set in one specific location and having tinier communities and having meetings there. And a lot of the debate was because it's harder to get a connection with the tinier communities with the big one. If you have one in Boynton, all the kids from South Hill, from Chase City to Clarksville are connected. But if you have one in South Hill, if you have one in Chase City, and you have one in Clarksville, it's hard to get those kids to, when you go to camp together or when you do activities together, to have that connection. And I know it is hard to always get these kids there, but they want to make sure that if it's in one location, so all these kids can be connected to each other. That's why they do it in one location. And that's what they were talking about at the meeting on Monday, is that tinier locations do not make the bigger connections, and what they want to do is make bigger connections with the 4-H kids. And it's, I'm not saying it's impossible, but a lot of agents do not like doing tinier community based because they don't feel like they're getting the connection without the community, throughout the community.
And it's a lot more work.
Yeah, it's a lot more work doing tinier communities.
But Jennifer, she still
Yeah.
goes into elementary.
Oh, she goes,
So
Jennifer
they're
Bowman, yeah.
receiving, they're getting a taste for it in their community and then can join.
Yeah, and
outside
that's the thing. She's still giving them the opportunity to get involved. But what most agents do not want to do is separate them to strictly communities, because it's a lot harder, first off. But when you want these kids to come together, they don't know each other. It's no connection at all. So when you bring all these kids into a room, even when it was not Chase City, when it was Bluestone and Parkview, when you brought all these kids together in one room and we had 4-H together, we didn't know each other. So now we're starting to form a connection with each other because we're learning each other, and that makes a lot stronger 4-Hers when they know each other. So that's what we really are trying to start now. And I hate to say it because not everybody can go to these locations and be in these things, but I think it's a lot better to have one location because you're building a community inside this location with everybody being involved.
Right, and to your point, I think that's a much broader problem in the whole catchment area. In the rural community, when you have a lot of poor people, transportation, there's no Uber, there's no anything, and getting people to and from activities is tough. So if you're poor, you miss out on a lot of things that, unless you have somebody willing to cart you around. And some people do and most people don't. So I think maybe, I know that's not our focus here, but.
I think, I know from my experience in Prince Edward, that was part of the great thing about having adults that were involved in 4-H, because a lot of times when we did live far out from, say, Farmville, where our meetings were, other adults would pick us up. There was a family, the Schraders, that used to pick me up. I lived far out in Prospect, and take me to meetings all the time, all the events that Jennifer had at the agency for us. And so, as she was saying, like, that's one of the main things about getting adults involved in 4-H is they are kind of that connection for kids that may not have the resources to make it to everything.
I also wonder if hybrid meetings might not be a possibility. Maybe not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah, I can understand that, but the thing that when you're speaking about money, and I just want to come back to this, is with the honors program now, what we're trying to build is enough community aspects so we raise enough money so when we go to camp and things like that, we can give out scholarships. That's what we're focused on now, and that's what me and Jennifer have talked a lot about now, is that we want to do community events with small charge, which lead to big goals, so we can send a kid to camp. Because over the years, when Jennifer has sent kids to camp, it takes more and more money out of the account that's not coming back as easily. So now when we have a set club, we want to raise money so we can send kids to camp, and if they don't have to worry about paying $200 for a week to stay. And so they can just get that little taste of camp. And that's a lot of things with community involvement. Like I can speak on my mom. Her program, what she does, they send kids to camp. And that is just amazing because kids aren't used to those environments. They're getting an opportunity to go. So a lot of things when it comes to community involvement, yes, we want to see the faces of our community, but sometimes the community has to understand it starts with you guys. We're just a program. We're the program to get kids involved, but it starts with our community. How can our community help these kids get involved? How can our community help lower income kids get involved in 4-H? How can we do that as a community? Not just 4-H. If we put on just 4-H, then it won't happen because 4-H is the program. Our community is the ones behind it.
So what does that fundraising look like for 4-H? Is that just donors? Is that members of 4-H go out and doing bake sales and car washes or selling subscriptions or candy or, what, do you have an idea how you plan to raise the funds?
So a lot of times we do Tractor Supply. We go to the Tractor Supply and they give money to 4-H, a little stuff like that. And we want to do one thing that we're trying to plan now is Night for 4-H. So a community-based environmental thing where everybody is involved in 4-H, they come out and our community supports an event where we're eating, we're drinking, we're enjoying ourselves as a community involved in 4-H. And it's a small fee to do it, and that will help send a kid to camp. Stuff like that, and that's why we couldn't do things like that before, because we didn't have a set club. A set place where the money was intended to go to send these kids to 4-H. So that's why now that we have a club and a way to run it, we have an account for these things, we can do these things now.
Does 4-H as an organization, say a national organization, provide any scholarship funding?
I know getting involved in the state level, you can get a national scholarship. So a lot of kids who go to like the Las Vegas thing, I know they're in the move to get scholarships. They can get scholarships. So if you can get on a national level, there's ways you can get scholarships. So it's all a process. It's really a process. People look at the community service, but 4-H can give you scholarships. You just have to navigate your way through to get those things. It's a process. It is a process.
So I have a question. I admit that I assumed 4-H was cow shows because that's what it was when I was growing up at my school in Alabama. My teenager kind of assumes the same. So for teenagers who aren't necessarily interested in farming, what would you say is still a good reason to get involved?
Because 4-H gives you connection. And I know for me and some of my friends after COVID, 4-H was the only connection I had outside of my Zoom meeting. So outside of going to school online, when I went to 4-H that year afterwards, that was the only connection I had. And you meet such different people that you don't expect to meet. The connections are things you could carry for the rest of your life. So now that I do 4-H on a state level, the people that I've met, how intelligent they are, you never know when these people will help you move yourself to the next level, because all of these are intelligent people. You guys are all trying to do the same thing. So the connection that you get, the friendship that you earn, the people that you meet, it's all about connection. And that just goes back to the 4-H being a community, making these connections, it's for you, helping you make people for to build your community. So yeah.
Are there any programs that say a teenager who doesn't wanna do animals or doesn't wanna go to camp? What kind of programs do you have specifically in the area that, like, do you have a tech camp? Do you have a tech club?
So 4-H does STEM and things like that, but that's more than Jennifer. That's like Dr. Price. So Jennifer is the one that shows you the way to do those things, and she gets you involved with those people. So Dr. Price has helped me with, she does 4-H cabinet and she does healthy living. And healthy living can range from things like that, but it's also like STEM clubs, but Dr. Price is involved in all of those things. Like it's a much broader subject. Just touching in camp is the first way, but if you ask your agent, she knows all the different things about it. Like for me, I talk about healthy living because that's the other things I've done outside of just state 4-H. Healthy living focuses straight on your health, straight on things that advance your health, straight on things like that. It's just the way you have to ask. It's the biggest thing. You have to ask your agent and she'll tell you all about it. It's a bunch of different things involved in 4-H.
So 4-H is really youth development.
It's youth development.
And you want what the H's stand for, because that does branch out. Heart,
Hands.
Health and hands.
My head.
Look at all these 4-H things up here. So it is very broad. I mean, I was into 4-H because my daughter was in competitive horseback riding. So we would do yearly the 4-H sponsored horse show, the state show. And so many areas, we did quiz bowls for that program. There are so many things. I know there was an archery program my son was involved in. Like you said, the cooking. So there's, a lot of avenues. It's just like you said, kind of getting a little taste from what Jennifer exposes and then connecting with the right people. But other areas do have that adult interaction, the participation rather. And when we would go to our state shows, we were a tiny little group, and then other areas, specifically Northern Virginia, they would have whole barns with just their team of kids and stuff. So it's wonderful to see the leadership piece from someone who's trying to build that. I love the fact that you are taking such an initiative, and when we build up the adult participation, then that hopefully secures the next generation of kids participating as well. Nice job.
Thank you.
I was
I'm
gonna
proud.
say too, my daughter is really involved in 4-H now, and she's not really an agriculture type, but they have like a theater route you can do at camp. So it's all involves like acting and things along that, which is really like what she enjoys. But also in a past job, I found that if you have kids that are in foster care and things like that, social services has funding to pay for them to go to 4-H camp as well. So if you have any kids kind of along those lines, reach out to their social workers or to your social service department there, and they will pay for them to go.
May I comment? This is Adla Angelina. I just want to say that I have a lot of respect for people who have gone through 4-H. They I have had discussions with local friends who tell me about their experience and what they learned. And at this point of their lives, some people actually regret that they didn't retain more of the knowledge that they learned. Specific, for example, when you have when you retire, you now live on acreage and you have hardwoods, you need to be able to identify your hardwoods by the trunk. Sometimes you come upon a dead tree and all that's left is the trunk, and you need to identify whether this is something you can burn in your fireplace or whether it will be, whether you'll need a log splitter or you can split it with an axe. I mean, just it seems that people were exposed to so much knowledge through 4-H that helped them throughout their lives. Thank you.
And just to like surround it all, 4-H for me, when I first got started, I didn't want to go. I absolutely thought I was going to go and it was going to be like I was on a farm. I didn't want it because that's never been anything that I liked. That's never been me. I begged mom not to let me go, but she pushed me to go. And when I went and I saw all the different things that it had and I made all those different friends, I was like, wow, this is so much more than just 4-H. And since then, I have went back multiple times and I got so much more involved. And it really is an amazing program. It's an amazing program for youth. And it's an amazing program because it teaches you so many things, so much more than just agriculture. And that's why I want adults to get involved, because the community, the kids cannot do it without the adult leadership giving it to them. Even on cabinet, we have adult leaders who are just there to guide us to make those decisions, and while teens are still running the cabinet, they just guide us. So that adult leadership is needed on every level. So having those adults in your community who are willing to be out there and really support you and guide you on these ways to help you be successful matters the most. And that's what 4-H is: adults helping kids meet their goals, find out what they want to do. And it's really important.
Thank you very, very much. Very, very nice. Right. All right, and I imagine that will come back up at our next leadership team meeting. Talk about ideas and ways we can support local 4-H. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, our next item for agenda is Justin's going to talk a little bit about the ADAP team. Justin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I told you, since I met with y'all the first time, I was gonna try to bring them to a meeting. Sam's computer died, but I did have the pleasure of bringing Alana with me. She was one of the students that I had the pleasure of taking the ADAP this year. She helped create Project Neon. For those who do not know what Project Neon is, Project Neon is the stand plan that her and her team created when they went to Longwood over the summer to ADAP. Stand plan is a strategy to act now, basically just saying what's going on in your high school or in your community as far as alcohol and drug abuse that you feel like you can make a change or make a stance on. Project Neon is project, but the neon part stands for negative effects on nicotine. So they chose to tackle nicotine. We had some challenges this first semester, so we're actually really excited about the second semester coming up in January. I met with them before we got on this meeting. Alana, is there anything you want to talk about? I put her on the spot. She's kind of shy, so please forgive her.
While we were meeting earlier, we were talking about what we needed to bring. So we were talking about our survey. We created a survey where we we're rearranging some of the questions that we had and talking about when we're gonna give out the survey and how we're gonna talk to our principal and our sheriff or our lieutenant now. And we're talking about when we're gonna present everything and what we're gonna do with it and what we needed to buy and what we need to buy, like 3D models. We need to set up posters, give examples on what nicotine can do to your body, and examples what basically like examples like have two things beside each other. What if you do nicotine and if you don't do nicotine? What you can do if you don't do it, and what you can't do if you do vape and smoke. So that's what we were talking about earlier.
So yeah, that's the update we have.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, any questions from the floor? All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Liam.
Hey, good morning again, everybody. So now I just want to take the time to first of all thank all of the folks who were on the call who were nominated and decided to accept their nomination for the leadership team on the Wellness Coalition. I'm particularly excited because we have, more than enough folks to hold an actual vote and have some really qualified candidates. So in the next little couple of minutes, I'm going to give everyone who's on the call who has been nominated and would like to address the coalition just 2 or 3 minutes to say a couple of words. I will go ahead real quick and start on behalf of Laura Castle, who was not able to join us today. Laura Castle is the head PHP coordinator for Centera Behavioral Health. She shared that she is honored to have been nominated and enjoys and has a passion for working to increase access to mental health and substance abuse services and awareness of these issues in Southside, Virginia. She has worked towards this for almost 25 years and she is deeply committed to it. Being a therapist and doing the work is a core of her identity, and she promises to work diligently to further this work through the Southside Wellness Coalition. So again, those are some thoughts shared on behalf of Laura Castle, who is one of the nominees for the leadership team. So at this time, I want to turn it over to, I see a couple of folks are on the call, so I'll just popcorn it to Lieutenant Stembridge if you'd like to say a few words.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I don't have a lot to say, but I'm Lieutenant Will Stembridge with Chase City Police Department. I've been here 20 years. I've been an advocate for getting the youth involved into the community and getting the youth involved with the law enforcement and trying to develop that bond between law enforcement and our community. I'm a real proponent of community policing, the DARE program, which we do not do, but the Sheriff's Office does, and we support it. So I plan to use my knowledge with law enforcement and the problems we have here in the town of Chase City to help the coalition and address the future problems throughout Southside Virginia and the counties we serve.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Dr. Angelina, would you like to share a few words?
Yes, again, hi, this is Adla. My name is Adla, and I'm a retired physician. And I we retired here in 2021, and my in-laws, my husband's parents, both of them grew up here in Halifax County, and they retired here back in 2005. So we've been visiting them here all these years, and then finally we retired and we moved here. And in 2020, this year, 2023, um, the 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 enormity of the opioid crisis, uh, uh, it made a big impact on me when the DEA did away with its rules for physicians prescribing buprenorphine, which is a treatment for opioid use disorder. And they used to restrict who could prescribe this medication. And they not only did away with the restriction, they are now requiring not only physicians, but also nurse practitioners and other providers, including dentists. They're requiring all of us to get at least 8 hours of continuing education on the subject. So this is a huge shift in policy, reflecting the immense need for treatment options for people. And so and that's when I sought out to see what I could do, how I could get involved in my community. And thus I started attending the Southside Wellness Coalition meetings, and I am honored to I'm honored to be running and I'm looking to serve and apply all my skills in an effort to ease the burden on our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Justin, would you like to share a few words?
Sure. Again, I'm Justin. I really got involved with SWC this year with the ADAP team. In that, I had the opportunity of just working with the leadership team. And this is probably not very professional, but I really like the vibe they gave me. Um, it's always nice to be around a group of people with the same common goal. So it's like, well, if I'm on a leadership team, that means everybody has the same common goal. So that's kind of where I'm pushing, is just building that community and helping our communities, because we're all from different places in Virginia and the Southside region, but just building and being able to help our communities. And I think that's probably why I wanted to be on there.
Awesome. Thank you. Brenna?
Hey everyone, like I mentioned earlier, my name is Brenna and I'm the Population Health Manager at the Department of Health. I was truly honored when Keenan approached me with this nomination. It was unexpected, but very appreciated. I'm going to try and not quote everything again in my bio, but I was with the coalition in Pitt Dan previously, so I really had a great opportunity before to attend a lot of the CADCA and CECOVA meetings and trainings and kind of learn the administrative side of the coalition. The position I'm in now, I also have a really great opportunity to know what grants we have available, how to spend them. And I've worked with Keenan a lot over the last 5 years, especially working with her over some Revive trainings. I was able to help her do the Revive trainings for International Overdose Awareness Day at the Higher Education Center a couple months ago. And everyone I've met through Southside Wellness Coalition has been amazing. And I'm really excited at the opportunity to really try and do some work and put more time and effort into our community and see what we can do to help improve substance use, mental health, and anything we can do with prevention with our youth.
Amazing. Thank you. And then Elena?
Hi, I'm Sherry Elena. I go by either. My job as a housing case manager and my membership on the Southside Wellness Coalition are both a labor of love for me. My late brother Matthew struggled with addiction all of his adult life, and as a result, was often homeless. And he passed in 2017. So this is something I do to honor him, and it's also something that I'm really passionate about. The more I do my job, the more aware I've become of how mental illness and substance use disorder and homelessness or being unstably housed are all so interconnected. So yeah, this is something I'm really passionate about. Briefly speaking about my history, I volunteered for 3 years with the military while I lived in Germany. I am a former EMT and worked extensively in healthcare. This is actually a bit of a career pivot for me, but I'm really enjoying it. I too was very honored and surprised to be asked to be a candidate, but I'm really appreciate the opportunity. And clearly I'm bad at talking about myself, so I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. We also have two other nominees, Jeanette Grimes and Christine Pennington. Are they in the room or did I miss them on the chat? Just want to hold space if y'all are present.
Hey, Liam, I think Jeanette is actually getting ready for vacation. She's actually a community health worker on my team.
Okay.
So I think she is headed out for catching a flight this morning, I believe. So
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I hope she has a wonderful vacation. Awesome. And Christine, I don't see her on the call. I'm assuming not in the room.
I'm gonna change the view. Yeah, Christine's in the room, so she's gonna come up to the podium.
Okay, hello.
Can you all hear us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, sorry. All right. I don't know how far that Zoom is trying to capture voices here and voices there. It's funny how sometimes it's better at capturing us and capturing them. I think today they have the advantage.
Good morning. First, it's an honor to be a nominee. I am not originally from Mecklenburg or this area. I'm actually born and raised in Virginia Beach, and so I'm an implant, but I've been here for over 20 plus years. I have been an educator and high school counselor in that time frame, and I have taught everywhere from elementary through middle and served as a counselor at high school level and have seen the needs across our community. It is disheartening when I watch someone at elementary level and to see the different things that have gone on in their life by the time I counsel them as at a high school level. We have a lot of needs in our community, and one of the things that upsets me the most is to hear people say, we're a rural small community, we can only do so much. And I think that with a collaborative effort and passion, we can do a lot more than people give rural communities credit for. I saw those needs and helped co-design a alternative learning program proposal for our school system. The school system, which was basically a reformative model to get students back on track, to see their worth, to see their value, to build self-esteem, and to just make better life choices. So unfortunately, we had some change in leadership and that program didn't come to fruition. So my colleague and I went out and founded Resilient Pathways. And that is a family resource center. We just got going here in Chase City, but we serve all of Mecklenburg. Our vision is to serve Lunenburg, Brunswick, Charlotte County, and Halifax as well. And the purpose of the program is to be a liaison between existing community agencies to make sure that the support is unified across the board and families are being strengthened and supported. Our belief is that you cannot just fix the child's needs, heal the child, you have to heal the family. So we are our program is advocating for it to be very family-based and to be able to help at-risk youth, court-involved youth, families in general across our community. So we are very excited about that. I'm currently finishing the work to have on my doctorate in trauma and crisis. I am
very passionate about helping in early intervention. I feel like we miss an opportunity when we don't start early and start to build messaging that you are worthy, you are valued, and you matter. So that's where I stand. And again, thank you for the nomination.
Please tell us your name again.
Christine Pennington.
Great, thanks.
And you're the chicken leader too.
Yeah, I have a new role. I forgot all about it. I just became the chair of our TARP, our local trauma informed care network, and I'm super excited about some of the 2024 activities that we have planned. So thank you so much.
You, Christine.
All right, and then Liam, did you want to read Jeanette's description since she was not able to join us?
Oh, I don't have her, just, she didn't, okay. She didn't send me an additional description, but I can read her bio if you'd like.
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, let me pull up her bio really quickly. I'm sorry, I didn't have it up. All right, I apologize for that, y'all. So Jeanette Grimes considers herself a Jersey girl with Virginia flavor. She was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and grew up partially in beautiful Southside, Virginia. She presently resides in Lawrenceville. She earned her college preparatory high school diploma from New Brunswick High School in New Brunswick, New Jersey, excuse me. And she earned her Master's of Human Services degree in 2010 from Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. Her master's research includes community organizing, substance abuse, addiction, and recovery solutions. She enjoys her position of community health worker with Brunswick Health Ambassadors in partnership with the Virginia Department of Health. She has over 3 decades of experience working with and for nonprofit organizations. She is trained as a state advocacy leader and has had the opportunity to work as an advocate in various capacities. She is also the CEO of Leziel Enterprises, I hope I'm saying that correctly, where she is leading and leaving a legacy of zeal. She loves conducting helpful information sharing workshops, and in 2021, she created COVID care packages to distribute to persons recovering from COVID at home. She is also a 2-time best-selling author. So that is Jeanette Grimes, who is on her way to vacation today, but definitely very excited for her nomination. So that concludes our nominees for the 2024 seats on the leadership team. The link is in our, will be in, Keenan just put it in the chat. It's also going to be in the notes from today. And so I think it's open until tomorrow afternoon, Keenan. Did I lie about that?
Open until, well, it's open until next Thursday.
Next Thursday, okay. So we do ask that you get those votes in as you're able, just so we can let folks know. And but just a reminder that it does close next Thursday. So, and it's in the chat, and then we'll make sure to send it out in the notes and the email as well. Any questions from folks before we keep it rolling?
All right, did we want to talk about the veteran outreach plans for January and February?
Yes. Yeah. We also have on there the end of year letter. Did you want to do that first or skip to the?
On your toe. No, you do that.
No, it's okay. So you all should have received our end of the year letter. This came out from our general coalition blast. We were excited to be able to do this year just to kind of give a high level overview of some of the great work we've done. We were excited to be able to host 23 different trainings, including Lock and Talk, Revive, ACEs, and Youth Mental Health, First Aid. And so that was pretty big for us. 23 trainings was not a light lift. Thank you, Keenan, and her team of mostly one, but her team for getting out there and getting all that done, and to the coalition members who were able to attend those trainings and meetings. We were excited to be able to send folks to 3 different conferences this year, and also sponsor a YADAP team. So that was exciting for us. We're excited to have some of the folks from the ADAP team on today. And then we also co-sponsored a blood drive and the We Stand Together Summit for LGBTQIA plus folks. And that was in Danville back in October. So we were excited about all we were able to do. 2023 was really the first year post-COVID that we kind of got to really spread our wings and get back out there. And so excited to see that move forward even further in 2024. But yeah, just wanted to plug that newsletter. Definitely check it out and feel free to reach out to myself or Keenan if you have any questions or concerns or comments. So other than the newsletter, we are excited. Speaking of growing and continuing to do some outreach, we are excited to partner with Allison and Angela at the VA to improve and increase our veteran outreach. Also, a big shout out to Catherine Maloney, who helped set up some of the meetings with the Clarksville VFW. But we're excited that on January 11th, we were invited to attend a meeting at the Clarksville VFW to talk to them about a needs assessment that we will be partnering with the VA to conduct to just get a better idea of what's needed around specifically veteran suicide prevention, but also just general health needs and needs of veterans in our community. Increasing our veteran outreach and impact is definitely a priority of the coalition. So very excited that these things are coming up. And then after we have our meeting on the 11th and kind of introduce the idea, we will be again partnering with the VA to conduct the actual needs assessment via the SWOT analysis method on February 29th. So excited about that. Excited. I'm a big data nerd, so I love kind of looking at all of that stuff and understanding what folks need and kind of aligning our prerogatives around the needs. And so otherwise, we have the VA has a couple of military competency trainings coming up in January and February. We can send you the link to those if you're interested. We as the leadership team will definitely be talking more about how to improve our competency when working and engaging in outreach with veterans. So excited that those resources exist and more to come as we move forward in that work. So did I miss anything, Keenan or Catherine?
Allison, did you want to talk a few minutes about that? Do you have anything to share?
Liam, you did a great job, I think, kind of outlining the process and, what we're kind of looking for in terms of opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, threats, in terms of services that are available and how accessible those are to the SMVF population. I just had one question about the VFW. So generally when we do the SWOT analysis, we have like a projector and we can bring a laptop, but just so that we can project the slides so that people can kind of understand what we're looking for in each of the categories. We wouldn't need it for the 11th, but for the 29th when we actually do the needs assessment, just wanted to make sure that we would have, a way to project.
Yeah, well, Catherine and I will follow up. If we get permission on the 11th to have the meeting, we'll follow back up with the
Oh, we have
location.
We have permission.
Oh, I'm gonna say we have equipment too, if they don't.
Yeah,
have
and I
equipment.
have equipment too.
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
equipment. Cover that. We'll cover that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I'll be there on the 11th. I shouldn't need necessarily the slides on the 11th, but more so for the 29th is what I'm thinking. Because if the 11th's only going to be a few minutes, just kind of giving a general overview of the process, I should be able to do that without slides.
Yeah, we have about 5, max 10 minutes to talk to them, get them engaged, and then, hopefully they'll pull in a lot more people in their community and the broader community to come in on the 29th.
Awesome. Okay.
We'll take care of all the equipment between us.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that the VFW either has it, or if they don't have it, we'll bring it with us and set up.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We got the details. You all, yeah, right. We'll have the everything for that. All right, awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, and then on the agenda, again, online, but not for you all in the room, Sarah Cott is here from, again, Engaging Halifax. Want to share a few words with us?
All right. Hey guys. Sorry I got into the 4-H stuff so much, but Jennifer's 4-Hers are kind of 4-Hers for life, so we're kind of obsessed. But I am currently the coordinator for Engaging Prince Edward, but Halifax actually started their program before us and has not had a very good response, and there just seems to be a lot of gaps. So I believe there may have been a presentation already done to your group in regards to the study. So if you were not here for it, I'll kind of give you a quick overview of what we're doing. So the research that's being conducted is to evaluate the effectiveness of a multi-stakeholder engagement method. And this method is called the SEED method. It was developed by a professor at VCU. And the point of the SEED method is to engage community members in a process of co-education and analysis and the drivers of opioid and substance use, and then responsive strategy development and action planning and implementation. So the long-term objective is to develop a model for the communities and for the organizations in the community to follow that address the local opioid abuse issues in a way that's actually relevant to that community. So what's relevant to Prince Edward may not be relevant to Halifax. And that is kind of the whole point of us doing these in different areas. And that's also why it's so important to have people from all aspects of the community involved in this. So we need providers, we need community members, we need people like your task force, all of you, to be involved, to sign up to take the surveys, to be a part of the focus groups, so that we can figure out how to help your community with this issue. And I spoke with someone the other day that said, oh, well, there's this other task force and y'all are competing against them. And I don't want people to think that, because that's not what this is at all. All that our group is trying to do is help develop the plans that can be implemented by you all in the long run. So once all this is done, you can take these actual action plans of what needs to be implemented and then work from there. So right now, what we really need are people that are interested in getting involved, interested in being part of the topic groups. As I said, we need providers, we need EMS, we need police officers, we need people at your jails, people just in the community, people in recovery, people in active addiction, family members of those people. It's really so broad that anyone in the community can really get involved in this, and it pays. So anyone that gets involved, we pay for all of the surveys and the topic groups and things like that. So you're not even doing it for free. You do get a little bit out of it. So I am kind of coming in right now to kind of help get everything back on track and get Halifax really moving in the direction it needs to move. So we are going to have a meeting tonight. Anyone that would like to be involved or get on it, just I'm going to put in the chat box, I guess, my contact information, my email, my phone number. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to invite you to the Zoom. And then starting in the beginning of January, we're really going to try to hit the ground running, really get that recruitment up. And I will probably be reaching out to a lot of you to help me with recruitment. Not being from the area is kind of a little bit difficult for me because I don't have those connections. So I'm really going to probably heavily lean on you guys to help me make those connections so that we can get this recruitment moving and we can hopefully get a plan for y'all to have in another year that or 6 months that really shows you what Halifax needs in terms of opioid response. And thanks for having me. It's been very educational.
All right, and Sarah has sent me that Zoom link as well. So, if anyone on the meeting right now wants to let me know that you want to receive that email, I can forward it as soon as this meeting is over. Because I know it is 6 o'clock tonight.
Is this meeting? Oh, Sarah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying anything. Go ahead.
Okay, is this meeting open to the general public, or do you have to be a part of the Virginia Tech Seed Initiative to join it?
No, tonight I am welcoming anyone that would like to get involved and help us really try to boost our numbers. I will probably be leading all of the meetings for the next couple of months until we really get some, heavy community involvement. Where we've gotten in Prince Edward, we only started mid-November, but we've gotten so many people involved that we only meet maybe once every 2 weeks. But we've gotten so many community members that I get calls daily of people signing up, and we haven't advertised in the newspaper. We haven't advertised online. This has all been word of mouth. So what I'm hoping to do is get as many people as I can kind of roped in now, and then get everyone kind of spreading the information, and hopefully we can kind of organically get people involved now.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is a reminder for those of you running for the leadership team that once the link closes on Thursday, we'll be announcing the 2024 leadership team. We know obviously everyone will remain on the coalition itself. And then we'll be announcing those that are attending the CADCA National Forum, the National Prevention, as well as Coalition Development Week in National Harbor. Then with that being said, the next item is the logo. I want to go ahead and share on the screen. Let's see, where's my, okay, where's my Sarah's presentation? Let's see where that is. All right, here we go. And y'all let me know if you don't see this in just a second. Where is it? There it is. She's another engagement today, could not be here. So I said I would share for her. There we go. All right, so new logo. She helped me a lot on this, didn't she? All right, so logos, the following logos are very rough draft. She could make big or minor changes to these. This is just a starting point. We can change color, size, position, add or subtract current ideas from logos. Please don't hesitate to provide feedback. All right, so these are, let me move this out of the way, move our camera out of the way. There we go. So these are there we go. Current logo ideas that she has developed. Again, none of this is etched in stone. She wanted me to explain to you that.
Hey, Keenan.
Yes.
Sorry, we on the Zoom can't see the logos.
Okay,
or I can't anyway.
All right, hang on. Something might have happened. Hang on, I'm gonna go back.
I can't see it either.
Me neither.
Yeah, I did, but let me screen share the. Yeah, I gotta get off that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I know, it's funny how you put things up and then they shrink off. I'm sorry, I'm just winding you on. Okay, hang on. Hang on a second. There we go. There we go. Oh, gotta love it, gotta love it. There it is, there it is, there it is. Thank you all for telling me. Thank you all. Thank you so much for telling me. Now, let's see. Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. All right. Okay. There we go. All right, you all see that? Y'all
I
see that?
can,
See
I
it?
can,
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
See with 6 logos on it? You know what?
Mhm.
Their view. Hang on a second.
No, they can see it. They got it.
Yeah, but maybe I need to be on, don't get frustrated with me, y'all. Maybe it needs to be on, all right, y'all can see that? All right.
Yes.
6 logos, okay. All right, so Sarah wanted me to share with you all that in some of these, she is still utilizing the ideas from the coalition's previous logo. So number 3, the idea that if you all wanted still to include a part of the previous logo, number 3 visits on that. Number 4 has an incorporation between the Trauma Informed Care Network logo and Southside Behavioral Health, with the idea that she's thinking that because these 3 organizations really work together, the idea that the Ticken and the Coalition and Southside Behavioral Health may want to have some type of link. That's not required. That's just something she was discussing. Number 6 has, again, sort of a mirror image related to the Trauma Informed Care Network logo, but it's not the same, but it does have the same elements. And then 1, 2, and 5 are completely different, do not have any connections to the coalition or to, I mean, not coalition, to the agency nor the Trauma Informed Care Network. They're just items that she, again, created. There's no need to specifically like any of this, but based on obviously what you see she created so far, would love to get feedback for me to write down. And then she's also provided a QR code for you all to actually respond directly to her. Then she also sent me, she felt that the name of the coalition, its current font was a little bit more like what a law office uses, something that's a little bit more geared towards some stiffness. So she is suggesting that one of these 5 fonts as a coalition font for our language and our website. The main reason she selected these 5 fonts, she said, was their gentleness, more towards health services, but also because these are typically available when you order merchandise, and you're allowed to manipulate a font, that these would probably stay closer to that. Though she did say if anyone has a specific font that they love, please send it to her. Obviously, we order merchandise like anything. It can be changed. It has to sometimes be changed anyway. But she wanted me to let you all know that. And then, of course, she came up, wanted to let everybody see again, based on items that we create and the website. This is just an example of, again, using 2 of those items up and down and side by side, how they would print on various items such as paper products and totes and items like that. She does feel we need to change the writing as well as the logo, because sometimes the writing is all that appears on something along with the website page. Let's see. And then finally, of course, I'm happy to take notes, but also she wanted me to share that you can snap the QR code, the website link. She has a place where coalition members can actively go in and give her feedback, suggestions. You can start from scratch and telling her, I didn't like anything you gave us.
Can you go back?
Yeah, but the overarching question she wanted me to tell you is, please tell her what you do not like about any of these, absolutely, and what you love about any of these. That will help us at least initially.
Hey, Keenan.
Yes.
Two things. One, I just tried using the QR code and it says you need permission. This form can only be viewed by users in the owner's organization.
Okay, I'll have that updated and I'll send it out to you, this afternoon.
Okay, and then on the logos itself, I know it's not the same locality, but close enough, I feel like. But in logo number 5 looks a lot like the Community Access Network for Lynchburg, like the same colors and the same shapes and everything. So I'd just be worried about that being too similar.
All right, I'll let her know. Number 5, okay,
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to cross over on anybody else's already created idea.
Yeah, I don't think theirs uses hearts, but it's the same colors and the same kind of overlapping square shape. So
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of that.
My eye goes to 2.
Okay.
I'd like to see it in black and white or grayscale so that when
Okay.
you can't print in multicolor,
Okay.
see what it actually looks like in grayscale. I like that one.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not sure how conducive that is to saying Southside Wellness Coalition, like you might have to
around it.
Southside Wellness and then coalition down the bottom, if you use that.
Okay, so you want to see that one with the words wrapped around it?
And to the side. I
Okay,
think.
all right.
And I liked that font 5.
I did too. I like font 5.
Soft, it was inviting.
All right, hang on one
Yes,
second.
me too. I liked font 5 and
Gabriola? Okay.
I liked font 3. I liked it for the logo. I did enjoy. I did like number 2 and maybe number 6. And I also second the notion that I would like to see it in grayscale.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Dr. Angelina, you said you like logo number 6. Is that what you said?
2.
2.
Yes,
2 and
2 and 6.
Two
If
and
I were to
6.
pick, I would pick either 2 or 6.
Okay, okay. Any thoughts on the color schemes?
Keenan, I found the black in 1 and 3 a little overwhelming. Does it have to be black? And for 1 in particular, maybe I'm just remembering a poster I've seen, but it reminds me very much of a child abuse awareness poster I've seen before.
I was going to say that.
agreed.
Which one? I'm sorry, which one?
Number 1.
Number 1.
Too similar to something
Too
else.
similar to something else. Okay, hold
That
on.
one almost gives off the impression that the coalition is a race relations thing, quite honestly.
Okay,
I
okay,
can see where you'd say that.
okay, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let me speak to
I
the black.
also want to. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Keenan, I can't hear you.
What it look like in black and white?
Might want to talk into the owl.
Oh, but they'll need to have colors on them. What's the current color theme? Oh, yeah, blue, yeah,
Blue and white.
yeah.
Blue, white, and black.
Blue.
Blue, white, and black.
And it's got some green in it too, yeah. Liam said blue, yellow, white with little green, yeah. And we're not married to that by any stretch.
Maybe an outline of the state instead of the state colored in too, so that it's more focused on the foreground.
Okay, so we like the image of the state on there?
I mean, but it's very similar, keeping with what we currently have.
Yes.
So I feel like if you're gonna put the effort into change your logo.
Don't make it the same thing. I also just don't personally love the idea of us mirroring the logos or drawing similarities in the logos between TARP and Ticken and the Southside Behavioral Health, just in case, because we do some standalone events and there are some folks who may not feel comfortable being associated with those groups, but like our group. So just, making sure that we can really differentiate ourselves as a standalone thing.
That's a good point, Leon.
I agree.
Okay, so we're leaning towards, so just in general, and I'll send an updated QR code to give her feedback directly. I'll talk to her this afternoon. But 2 and 6, you all are saying is primarily the feel.
No,
So
I
she-
don't, not even six. I'm not in
Oh,
the six.
so somebody said six.
Or four.
It's Dr. and
All right, so,
I think two speaks, I mean, when I look at it, I think of diversity. I mean, it makes me feel like,
And it's a positive.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, it's positive too.
Mhm.
It's like, that's refreshing.
but like you, will it lose something when it's in grayscale?
That's,
Right.
and also the colors might need to be a little bit brighter, maybe.
Yeah.
could be, yep. We could play with that in different color schemes and what it looks like in black and white and grayscale. I would go grayscale, not black and white.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so
Two's the
two,
only one I like out of the
I'm writing down everything y'all are saying. Okay, I think we're still open to more ideas.
Oh, yeah.
The circular, so we want to be sort of circular.
No.
No?
It's in the circle, quite honestly, rather
Right.
than the shape.
Okay,
I
okay.
like the message it sends.
Okay, so then, can I say this? You like the people imagery then? So if she makes more logos that have people imagery
Happy
versus the
people
state.
imagery.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy and
people
excited.
imagery.
Positive people imagery.
Positive. Okay.
And I feel like one, it really does seem like child-based, like what we're doing, and we're serving the entire community. I know it's a larger end, but you get that impression like larger end holding on to a smaller end,
Oh, that live, yeah. Yeah. And I kind of get that in three too. That's kind of
You're
like.
sheltering the child.
Yeah.
All right, and you, okay, I got some chat comments too. So I like the colors of 6. I also think a solid banner across 2 with the SWC written, okay, and we've also got comments from the chat. I like how the 3 colors in 6 represent multiple people, groups working together for a common goal. Oh, I see the 3 colors, the 2 greens and the yellow,
Greens and the
okay.
yellow, yeah.
Okay, so so again, this idea of people, families, positive images.
Right.
And positive people, okay.
Anything she works up from here, I think it would be awesome to see it in color and then in grayscale.
All right,
Just so that
Yeah.
transfer that more easily.
Okay, so in multiple
Into-
different
Because
forms.
a lot of the stuff we write, like this is gonna, like on a pen or something, we're not gonna do it in color, we're gonna do it in white, or we're gonna do it in black. Most likely.
Okay. And then looking at the state number 3, are you guys opposed to that image that's on number 3? Imagine that in some other format. She mentioned that.
Yeah, I don't care for the people.
No care for the people leaning on each other. Anybody else online?
Yeah, I don't care for the people.
All right, someone said do not like number 3, do not post, not my favorite, okay.
I do like what Christine said, though, like, our current logo is the state of Virginia. If we're gonna redesign a logo, spend effort there, I think we need to be able to make a big splash with it from a marketing, advertising, like recognition standpoint, and that's not gonna serve that purpose. If
Well,
we-
because if you looked at 3 and then you looked at what we already had and it was grayscale or black and white, you wouldn't even take a second glance at it. You wouldn't,
Okay.
you really wouldn't want.
Okay, and then the chat box, someone said I like number 2. Shelley said, could you use the outline of the counties you serve instead of the entire state? Okay, I can ask her about that.
Okay.
Okay, outline of the 3 counties. Well, yeah, I could tell the
Would we
people.
ever- Would we ever expand out of that 3?
Like,
I mean,
Likely not.
Not in my lifetime, but.
Well, what would that
I'm
look
kidding,
like?
I'm
If you
kidding.
did it, I mean, just brainstorming, if you had the counties and you filled the counties with the people that we like and.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay, okay.
My only fear there is,
Might be a weird shape.
well, you'd have to do the 3 outlines, and Virginia's pretty recognizable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the 3 counties are very
Yeah.
recognizable.
Could be a
Or,
cool image.
I don't know, do y'all serve a whole health district? Sometimes the health districts have their own little outline, and that could potentially be used with the people in the middle of it, like in number 2, but the outline of the health district that y'all serve.
Okay.
Our
I think-
outline already has our logo on it, so I don't know if we could take it off.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, these are good comments to send to Sarah. This is a great place to start. Absolutely great place to start. All right, and then back over to the fonts, I'll send her that we were looking at, it was 2 and 5, correct? No, yeah, 2 and 5, 2 and 5.
Hey Keenan, can I be the negative Nancy again?
Absolutely, go for it.
My concern with number 2 is the accessibility. For people who are visually impaired, or if we're putting it on anywhere online for any applications they may use, it generally stays away from that kind of thickness, and that'd be my
Okay.
biggest concern.
Okay, so number 2 doesn't serve okay. All right, okay, so then number 5, it seemed to be overwhelming. People thought number 5 because it's softer. Okay, all right, I see that. The Gabriola one, that's what I wrote down, font number 5. Okay, good. No, that's good feedback. That's what we need. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Dr. Angelina said, I sure I would like to see how it would look to have the names of the counties written around the circle and logo number 2. Okay, all right, see what that might look like. All right, yeah, so it seems like by and large, you guys are focusing on the top, county names at the bottom. Okay.
The county names around sort of wouldn't be bad with.
Yeah, right.
Southside Wellness Coalition written.
Exactly, exactly. That'd be all. That would be sort of
That would eliminate
something.
confusion on who
Yes,
starts.
yes, that's a great idea. Wonderful, wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, and don't forget, I'm gonna send you all the QR code too for all this, but I'm taking good notes. All right, awesome, awesome. All right, I'm gonna stop the share. All right, being respectful of your time, we have about 15 minutes. Leadership team, any comments, shares? I know, Stephen, you want to talk briefly about the Sakova information I'll be sending out in the next newsletter?
It really wasn't much. I can tell you that they have a new email address, when we pull that back out. Anybody, needs their email address, the new email address for Sakova is info at communitycoalitionsofva.com. Outside of that,
VA.com.
our meeting this month, centered primarily on takeaways from the recent summit held in Roanoke, and they're looking at what to do in the future. Do they want to do multi-day? Do they want to continue to have it in Roanoke, which it seemed like that was a little bit of a decent centralized location when you're looking at the western parts of the state, trying to get in there as well. There was a list of conferences printout that we looked at, and there were a few interesting things coming up. They're a little bit far out right now to talk about, but there are some here in our state this year that I think would be worth attending.
Okay.
No need to go into that right at the moment either. Checkbook for Sakova is currently fine. They've pretty much dispersed everything that they need to on their grant money that they're to pass through for. And that was about it for the meeting.
Okay, all right, and I'll pull up that Sakova newsletter you said, pull that flyer and get that to Liam. If we are gonna send folks, you said, did they mention they're gonna do the Sakova Summit again?
This is
in
partial
October?
print. I did a screen print on part of it.
Okay,
but There's
cool.
a few on there.
All right, cool. All right, I'll email those out to everybody. Did they say they were gonna do another Sakova Summit this October again?
They're looking at going back to annual.
Annual, wow, okay,
annual,
okay.
They're also, again, looking at, there really hasn't been any more progress on the mentoring services. They did, of course, receive extra grant money for offering that. So if we decide we need to use them for anything, or,
Okay.
and that gives us access to what people are doing across the state. If somebody has a successful campaign, no problem to borrow it. Everybody's happy to share.
Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, I'll send these out. All right, member announcements. The floor is open for anything anyone would like to share.
Just want to plug again. the Engaging Halifax initiative. And for folks who are impacted, have been impacted, are secondhand impacted by any sort of opioid use or engagement, please reach out to Sarah or myself. If you have a contact with me and need me to facilitate that handoff, I'm happy to do that. But just want another plug for the Engaging Halifax effort and the meeting tonight at 6, and you can join via Zoom.
Awesome. All right, any other comments, questions from the floor? Hours and 6, okay. All right, we will officially adjourn at 11:43 a.m. Our next meeting will be January the 18th. Yep, at 10 a.m. And Ellen, Foxglove Marketing, we've already created a, well, I'll send it out. We've already created a flyer for all the meetings of next year. You might even recognize some familiar faces in the flyer. And we've already got all the links for the hybrid meetings for all of 2024. So please look out for, if you haven't already voted in the chat box today, please look out for the link to be shared again over the course of the next 6 days. Again, you're only allowed to vote once. And then we'll be announcing the 2024 leadership team and all of its additional members next week.
Once we have election results, is it possible to have a new leadership team meet prior to January 18th? Maybe a brief 45-minute Zoom deal, just to and everybody can spend a few minutes together as a leadership team.
Sure. You all want to, Liam, you want to pick that date now? All right, June, yeah. Stephen is proposing a leadership team meeting prior to the next coalition meeting, a Zoom meeting.
With the new leadership.
New leadership, okay?
Oh, I'm hurt.
Anybody want to, Catherine can still. I love it. Liam, did you want to suggest the dates and times for that right now, or?
Oh, yeah, I mean, the 11th, we have our meeting with the VA at the VFW. And so I think if we want to keep it consistent with the Thursday, it would have to be the 4th.
Okay, all right. I'm good with that. If you want me to send that out to everybody when they win next week. The 4th on Zoom, what time do you want to do?
6 to 7.
6 to 7?
Okay.
That'll be our first open conversation about availability anyway for folks. All right, I can do that.
Okay, very
Okay.
cool.
All right, any other comments, questions? I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye, y'all be
Until
good.
next year.
Wonderful meeting, wonderful meeting. We're rocking into 2024. Wonderful meeting. Bye-bye, Barbara.
Well, you're not,
All right, I gotta save my chat.
I know, but I didn't know if you were there.
No.
do. So, and that I would love to know, so that we could, you're not on.